kept secrets travel.
Yeah, so there is so much more. So the final point for today is going to be transport. If you're traveling solo, transport costs, for example, going from airport to actually in town, aren't going to be split, and they're going to be more expensive. And the bigger the group, the cheaper it will be. But when you're in a big group, then you can split it up. But then you also might have different people that have different preferences. So there might be someone who doesn't like flying or doesn't want to go in a bus or train or any sort of transport. And that's where it gets more complicated, and you sort of have to have a consensus around it. And that makes things slightly more difficult, but possibly cheaper, as we were saying with the camper van.
Yeah, camper van definitely makes it cheaper, because the second that Morgan and I are driving together, you know, for every few hundred miles, you're only spending, let's say, £30-40 on fuel. In Australia, it's half the price of that. So your travelling costs really cheap. Your accommodation costs super cheap. In New Zealand, you can camp anywhere in a camper van for free, basically, known as freedom camping. And there are apps which show you just how many places there are.
And you can do that in Norway, and that's Allemannsretten law.
That place.
I got it. It's not a place, it's a law. Which means you can pretty much do the same and camp everywhere.
And just as everything, there are massive advantages of doing this. There are disadvantages. Yeah, for example, you don't get the fun of being in a hostel, but when you're overseas, it really depends. It goes back.
Struggle to shower.
It goes back to that goal, though. Is what is your goal? Do you just want to get out there, spend as much time sort of outdoors, squeezing in adventures, or actually do you want to have, you know, every other day you're just having a fair few drinks,
nice clothes in the sun and chill?
Yeah, you could be doing anything, and we're not going to judge you on what you're doing. We're just trying to help you guys decide and get that plan together to plan that next venture, whether it is just sitting by a beach in the Caribbean or Cornwall or Spain, so be it.
Or Ukraine.
But all of these rules apply about transport, about accommodation, about your goal and location and time frame. All of this will still apply, no matter how ridiculously different your previous goal is. Have you got a favourite type of transport that you've been on? The most memorable thing you've had to go on at some point?
The most memorable would be parachute. After that,
and where was your A to B location, and why parachute?
I think it was somewhere in Norfolk. Was the first time, but then the other time was Ailey Beach, and that was really pretty. Norfolk less so.
It's your favourite transport?
So either, yeah, it's a great mode of transport, flying.
You're not wrong. Via parachute, I don't remember in Australia you
travelling very far.
You with your backpack, nor travelling very far.
Okay, so
apart from vertically.
Okay, so the next one was going to Middle Island via it's hard to describe.
Oh, the US Navy Lark, which
yes,
is
that's the one.
Which is a land and sea, land and water. Yeah, basically a boat car.
That was the coolest mode of transport.
That was pretty cool.
When I did Red Bull Can You Make It, we travelled a bit in a police car. We asked to.
Really?
It was one of the challenges. You had to get in some sort of emergency services car.
That's pretty cool.
By choice. They specifically said by choice. So that was quite fun.
I do like. I'm a big fan of tuk-tuks.
Tuk-tuks are great
tuk-tuks
fun.
and golf buggies, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I mean, they're not the safest things in the world, but it's that open top feeling.
Yeah.
Whizzing around. Beep, beep.
Well, how cheap it is as well. And tuk-tuks are so much fun.
I was terrified in a taxi in Morocco.
Although I must say they're not good for long distance journeys.
What, tuk-tuk? Funny that.
Not very comfortable. I had an hour one. It wasn't even long distance. It was just Bangkok traffic.
Oh.
It was painful, like truly painful.
Probably
really
took 6 years
enjoyable
off your life.
experience. Yeah.
Just with pollution, just stationary.
Oh goodness me. Yeah, no, that's so for short distances, tuk-tuks are great.